Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.
Hi, I'm Cherry Johnson with Watauga County Arts Council, and for many, many years you have heard me come to you and talk about this wonderful summer arts camp that we do every year. And the centerpiece of the summer arts camp is the Missoula Children's Theater production, and each year we have a different children's classic, usually a fairy tale, that is produced in Montana, or the scripts are written in Montana. It's sort of oftentimes a slight twist on it, sort of a funny angle to a basic classic story, such as Jack and the Beanstalk that we did this year. And then there are two actor directors that come in the little red pickup truck. You've heard me talk about that, about coming out and training the kids in the course of 1 week, an entire theatrical production. Well, we've been doing it. This past year was our 20th year of doing that, which was really phenomenal that we had been doing it that long. And I can't believe that in 20 years I had never heard of this until this year. But they have this wonderful program. Last year's actor directors watched our cast of very talented children, and they said, one stands out of the crowd. Let's do something special. And they nominated this student for a very special honor. This is Lexi Craner. And Lexi, you are 15 now.
Yes.
And you've been in the program for 6 years?
Yeah, I think this will be my 6th year.
Okay, and your brother and your sister have also been in the program too.
Yes.
And you had a lead role last year.
Yeah.
You were, what was his name? Archibald
Craven.
And he was the uncle in The Secret Garden.
Yes.
And then you became Jack's mother this year.
Yes.
And your brother was the giant, I believe. So,
yes.
You've got this whole, this is Rashawn. Rashawn's their mom, Rashawn Craner, and she has a very, very lively household, I'll just bet. I cannot imagine your house.
It's a hoot and madness. I like it. There's a lot of laughter that happens all the time.
That's a great thing.
Yes, definitely.
So you brought your children to be part of our Missoula Children's Theater. Why'd you do that? What was the point?
My kids, I homeschool my kids, and they, I ask them every year, what are their goals? What do you want to accomplish?
Right.
There's the goals that as a teacher, you just, you have to do English, have to do math, have to do science, have to do history. But what do they want to get out of it? And they wanted to do theater. So I said, all right, I'll find some theater. And I found the Missoula Children's Theater.
Right.
And when they were really little, we had come and seen one. I can't remember which one it was, but we had come and seen one at the high school. So that was in the back of my mind when they said theater. And so we went, and I think Kaya did it by herself the first year.
Yeah, she did
And-
Robin Hood by herself.
And then, which one?
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood. And then all the kids were like,
I
want to do this. So then they've all done it ever since then. Well, till she outgrew it, you know?
Yeah, Rashawn's outgrown it.
Kaya.
She's outgrown it. She's a mom.
They didn't even let me be in it.
We'll have to work on that. So your oldest daughter is now how old?
18.
18. So she's gone through the program and then some.
Right.
And then Lexi's come along in the program, and then her brother too. So,
Yes.
So you've got 3 in the program, and I guess you'd recommend it.
Oh, I'd absolutely recommend
Yeah.
it. What they do in 1 week is unbelievable. They
is.
take these kids who haven't ever worked together before. Some of them, I guess, have come year to year, but that it's not their usual norm to work
Right.
with these other kids. And they make an entire play, and everybody has a part that shines through. Everybody has their own lines. Even the little kids, they sing songs, but they each get to say something, and it boosts their confidence, and they make everybody in the whole crowd laugh.
They
do. And it's so fun. I've loved it forever, like ever since we started it. And then when she got nominated for this, to go out to Missoula and then auditioned and got in, it was amazing.
That's
and
amazing.
To see all those kids come together, what they do in 2 weeks, like what they do in 1 week, 2 weeks with the kids right there in camp.
And also the ones that
unbelievable.
are the outstanding ones to begin with.
Exactly. And they were all so into doing it. All
just
those
bet.
kids were
I bet the energy level was unreal.
It was awesome. Well, I didn't get to be there for most of it, but I just got the last 4 days I got to see them when they were doing the performances and get to know the kids that
And
way.
let's explain what you're talking about there
Okay.
too, because what y'all did was you got did they call you and tell you they were going to nominate you, or did they tell you verbally?
They told me on the last day when we were doing strike, they're like,
Okay.
Lexi, we need to talk to you. Don't leave.
Okay,
was
so
like,
they
okay.
talked to you, and they told you were going to get a letter, and you got a letter, and in this letter it told you had to put together an audition tape.
Yes.
Now this, first off, to get nominated, you were one of, 175,000 kids that they see each year?
75,000.
75,000 kids. So one of 75,000 to get even chosen, or one of, we don't know how many got nominated, but a bunch,
Yeah.
you know. And then from that, they have to filter it down to, what was it, 81 that you were with?
Yeah,
this summer.
81 kids.
And so you had to do an audition tape. What is an audition tape?
There is an intro with my name, my age, where I'm from, and I'm
Whatever
not
you
sure
want to say
if-
about yourself.
Yeah. Like, hi, I'm Lexi. I was 14 at the time. Hi, I'm Lexi. I'm 14, and I'm absolutely crazy.
You have to sell yourself
Yeah.
in this thing.
Yeah, a little
And
bit.
then you do a monologue?
Yes, I do memorized acting monologue, which I decided to do Boy, Why Are You Crying from Peter Pan because
Yeah.
it's like one of my favorite monologues ever. And then you have to do a singing while in motion. So I did a whole dance thing and sung Friend Like Me from Aladdin.
That's great. Now, how long was this entire audition tape?
I think it was like 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
I think, yeah, it was maybe 8 minutes. It was 3 minutes for the,
Yeah, it had to be under 10 minutes.
Yep.
Just remember that.
Okay.
I don't
and it had to
remember the final number.
be 3 minutes for each, the monologue and the song.
Can you imagine being in Montana and you get all these tapes?
And then you have to choose.
Oh my God,
Exactly.
Mom called TJ, the guy who runs it, like 60 billion times when we were putting this together. She's like, I don't want her to
be
like
right."
have a bad outlook because my camera work was bad or something. He's like, Rashawn, you have no idea the audition tapes I see every day. It'll be fine.
It'll be okay. So it's not about what you do, it's about
Right.
what she does. Like, okay.
So now you finally get notice that you got in,
Yes.
and that you're one of the very few that gets into this camp.
Yeah.
And then luckily, Rashawn, you have family out that way, so you were able to fly with her out there, but then leave her on her own at camp. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
And so you got to spend 10 days with family,
Yes.
hanging out and seeing all the gorgeous sights out there.
Yes, my cousin. He made sure that I got to go to Glacier National Park, and we stayed at this amazing place called Many Glaciers Inn. No internet, no TV. Actually, a telephone booth in the lobby. It's like
Wow.
100 years old. Not the telephone booth, the place.
Uh-huh.
The telephone booth. I don't know how old that was. It was wooden and. It
think it
still
could've been close
worked.
to
It
100
still
years.
worked, exactly. It had a little seat. I had to call Kendon because I was like, Kendon, I'm talking to you on a payphone, in a phone booth, in a 100-year-old cabin, like, lodge. It was amazing. It was amazing.
So you two
And I
had
took pictures.
no communication except for on her birthday for
Yes.
that whole time.
Yes.
Yes.
And you happen to have a birthday during the 10 days. And
Yes.
so you and Mom get a 10-minute conversation?
Yeah,
Yes.
and like they were like, you can have like 4 people call you on your birthday, okay? So like, choose your favorite family members.
That was it, really.
And actually, I ended up having like 5 people call me, and Miss Katie, the lady who is like running everything, she was like, because I had to call Mom after we got to Missoula, and we're done with like rehearsals on the stage and stuff, and I had to call Mom, and I was like, Mom, you're late. Where are you? And before that, she was like, so many people have called me from North Carolina. If I get a big phone bill, like, I am billing your family.
So now you're part of this group. You stay in cabins in this camp.
Yes.
Now, you were telling me that you stayed in a different town from Missoula, Montana. Missoula
Yes.
is a little college town, a lot like Boone.
Yeah, it is. I was like shocked at how similar they are.
Interesting.
I was like,
Okay.
oh my gosh, I
And-
feel like I'm in town. What is this?
It felt really familiar in a good way.
That's great. That's great. Now, the Missoula complex is, you said, about the size of a city block. and identifiable by little red pickup trucks.
Yep, all lined up in front.
And the big sign that says MCT headquarters.
That's
I
a dead
bet.
giveaway.
Yeah, seriously. And so that you were staying where?
I stayed on Flathead Lake for the whole 10 days we were there.
And you bussed back and forth.
They just bussed us there.
They stayed on the lake, and then they came to Missoula on the last 4 days.
Oh, so they worked out at the lake, and then
Yes.
I
Yeah.
get you.
Yes,
Okay.
they stayed there the whole time because it's a 2-hour drive easily, maybe a little more on buses.
Oh my goodness,
It was
that a lot
longer
of
than
riding,
2
yeah.
hours.
So
had
so
to
they
keep
couldn't
it the
do that
whole
every
ride.
day and actually get time to do stuff.
Now, you put together, the whole crux of this entire camp was putting together a production together, right?
Yes.
And you did Schoolhouse Rock.
Ta-da. Yes. We did Schoolhouse Rock Live, and it's separated into 2 different places. It's North Shore and South Shore. I was in South Shore is like the older kids, because like as soon as you're a junior, senior, or a freshman in college, that's what you do at South Shore. And they learned a bunch of stuff. They learned a bunch of the more complicated ones.
Wow, okay.
And North Shore, which is my group that I was with, so that's like freshman in high school through like,
It's 8th, 9th, and 10th.
yeah, 8th, 9th, and 10th.
8th, 9th, and 10th graders, okay.
Yep. And then we learned a bunch of songs. They like split us up into little groups and was like, okay, you're learning this song, you're learning that song, you're learning this song. And then they would split us into 2 groups and stuff like that. And we learned a section, and then South Shore learned a section. And the day that the first time we met was on the day before the show.
Wow, and then you put it all together.
Yeah, and we put it all together, and we had done like blocking and stuff, and the problem is South Shore doesn't have the full length of the stage to practice on. So like the last 2 levels, because it's up on like big levels and giant stairs and stuff, they don't have those. They couldn't practice with them. And we don't have the full width of the stage, so we were all like crammed in like sardines. And then when we got there, we're like, how do we deal with this space? And we had like literally 4 hours to finish all the spacing and do a run through. And then we went on for a show.
Wow.
that
And you
night.
did the production in Missoula, and
Yes.
at the theater,
Yes.
they have their own
Right.
theater.
Yes, in the headquarters.
And so now, this is interesting to me, because, in Missoula, it's a small town, like
Yes.
Boone. There's obviously there's got to be a lot of things going on in a college town.
Yes.
And yet they sell tickets to this performance.
Yes.
A bunch of
Yeah.
tickets. How many people showed up, do you think?
I wonder how many people were in there. I think there had to be 300 or 400 people
in each performance?
Yes.
Wow.
And most of them were sold out. A couple, the 1 o'clock show, they did 6 performances. All 3 8 o'clock shows were totally sold out.
Amazing.
And then they had a 1 o'clock, a 4 o'clock, and a 5 o'clock on different days. And I think only the 1 o'clock was not completely sold out.
Wow.
Yeah.
There was plenty of people there, but it wasn't every seat filled.
Now, how much are tickets for these things? Do you know?
I do.
You had to buy some.
Yes, I did.
Because Mom went to every single show, because she's just an awesome mom.
It was a great show too. I enjoyed every minute of it. It's $15 to
Wow.
go to the show.
So it isn't like a $5 ticket. So
No. No.
It kind of awes me a little bit that in a town that small that you can sell that many tickets. So it says something for the quality that Missoula does.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of productions. The town people, a lot of the people who came, I ushered a couple times, and so I got to talk to a lot of the people who came through there.
Right.
And a lot of those people, they're townspeople, and they had kids in Missoula camps before and doing productions there.
Right.
And now their kids were grown up, but they really love those performances. So
they keep coming
there's
back.
a community that really does support that and loves all the shows that they have
Pretty
there.
cool.
Yeah.
Now, what are the likelihood? Does this increase Lexi's odds? Does it for being part of a Missoula team that travels in a little red pickup truck somewhere in the country?
Probably. It's not like they do hire a lot of ex-campers and stuff, And so, yeah, kind of, but they're also very fair, and even if you're not like an old camper, then
Right. It's not a
they'll
requirement.
take you if you're
Right.
just
right.
an awesome person in general.
How
Right.
many teams travel each year?
There are, I know there's like one for every state, and they all travel all over the place because they go to like all 50 states, and then 16 different countries and 3 Canadian provinces.
Wow.
And they just kind of travel everywhere. And so I know there's 50 in the States, and then there's like 6 billion everywhere else.
Make the numbers up. That's good.
You can tell I'm good at math.
So the idea, your goals are to be one of the Missoula teams.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Once I graduate, I really do want to at least do 1 tour. I kind of want to do 2 now because I found out if you do 2, then you get to go internationally.
Right.
And so I'm kind of like, oh, I really want to do that.
The team that nominated you told me was in Prague.
Yes, I found out while I was at camp that they are currently in Prague.
That is really cool. And I know we've had a team before where one of them had been in Japan for a year, you know, that kind
Right.
of thing. So
Yeah.
some of them stick with it for several years, and some of them just do it one, you know. But
Right.
most of them are straight out of college age, you know. They've
Yeah.
usually graduated with a degree in something drama
Right.
related and come and do that first. And I think it's a wonderful option for folks that are graduating from dramatic programming
agree.
of one sort or another, degrees with that. So
And you meet a lot of people when you go out and
Right.
do that and get exposure for yourself, even though you're working with kids and you're not actually
Exactly.
doing the play. You are helping kids and you meet a lot of people. So who knows where those connections will go.
exactly, opportunities everywhere.
Absolutely.
So Lexi, long-term goals, big goals. What are your big goals?
Currently, well, I really do. I want to be on Broadway and go to like be on the West End and stuff and do big shows. But like my current like giant goal is to play Christine in Phantom of the Opera for the 30th anniversary show in 4 years, I think now.
And that's very achievable for you.
Yep. And I want to be Cinderella and on Broadway because that opened up a few months ago. And I want my debut show to be Newsies on Broadway, which I actually got to meet a bunch of the people who were in it when I was at the Junior Theater Festival with my playhouse I work for. And they're like, we do a ton of debut work for people. We will take anyone in this room if you want to be Newsies to be your debut show. I was like, yes.
So you're going to be paying for an awful lot of theater tickets for Sean.
I know. I'm so excited. She's going to get me backstage.
There you go. And you can always usher. Usually that'll
That's
get
right.
you.
That's right. I like ushering for sure.
So I know you're really proud of her.
I
and all
am.
she's done. Now,
I'm
how does the
crazy
how does
proud.
the rest of the family feel about it?
Oh, everybody is super proud of her. Everyone thought this was an amazing opportunity,
Yes.
and everyone wanted to go out to Montana, but that didn't work out this year. I'm
Yeah.
glad I got to go. We were all in agreement that she didn't get to go by herself all the way across
Yeah, a little bit
country.
young
That
for
was
that.
and a little far, and so I was glad I got to go. But next year, I think the plan is for all of us to go out
How
there
fun.
together, so we can have a big family vacation without Lexi because she'll be at camp.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, poor Lexi.
And then we'll like drive back and
But
check out
exactly.
some awesome sights on the
Yeah.
way back.
That
would
While
be
I'm sleeping in the
fantastic.
car.
Yeah.
Because I'll just be so exhausted.
I think you guys need to rent a motorhome.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm just going to go sleep for the next 3 days. Bye.
I'll just take pictures. This is where we were while you were sleeping, Lexi.
You were asleep. We all have fun. Well, I think that we're very proud of you too. Watauga
you.
County Arts Council is, and this community. We are really proud to have one of our own make it to this level. You know, that's really special. And you cannot move away from us and not stay in touch.
I will always stay in touch.
So you come from a very artistic family too, because now your sister's into piano and your brother's into, what's he into? What's his thing?
He blows glass with my dad. My dad's a glass blower.
Dad's a glass blower, and Rashawn's a photographer.
Yes,
Got a
and my sister's actually
and everything.
writer.
Yeah.
She's a pianist / writer.
Ah.
She's published 2 novels and 1 novella, which is like a shorter novel.
Yeah.
And she published her first one when she was 17. She's published one every year since then.
So you're fighting to stay up
16,
with her,
really?
aren't you?
Exactly.
Your little
Kaya
brother's got a
Aliana
bad
got-
road hoe.
He really does. But he's actually working on a successful glassblowing business currently.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
We're
He's
looking-
an amazing artist.
You know, it goes to show what the arts can do for folks too. You know, this is really, really special. And I appreciate your comments about what the camp does and what the kids do and that kind of thing. Because I do think it's a fantastic program,
I do
and it
too.
really does, you know, launch certain kids, the ones who really would want to do that, launches
Yes.
them out, you know. But I think she's our biggest success story. So far.
I'm flattered.
Well, we look forward to seeing Lexi in next year's performance,
Yes.
whatever that is. We don't yet know what it is.
Nope.
But-
I'm really hoping that Michael, the guy who writes most of the scripts, he actually wrote like our last 3.
Yes.
He
Yes.
was our director.
Oh,
This
wonderful.
year, it
So
was
you know him
awesome.
personally now.
Yes, I
He's
do.
great. He's really great. I liked him
He
a lot.
really is.
That's
And
wonderful.
he is currently working on writing Peter and Wendy.
Oh,
is
that'd
his
be
next
great.
script he's working on currently.
I may put a little note on my application this year that says we really would like to request.
Or
You should do that.
Because it is my last show here. I had that realization this morning when I woke up. I was like, oh my gosh,
Only
this
one
is
more.
my last year.
It
Yep.
is. It is. Yeah, we have to stop it somewhere.
Exactly.
Yep. But I shall miss you.
However, we accept volunteers.
Oh, yes, I definitely want to come back
Yeah.
as well, too.
So we'll have a lot of those.
Exactly.
So if you have a child that you think would like to be involved in the summer arts camp, stay tuned. We will be not probably registering kids until March or so, but we will make we will be in communication with Missoula Children's Theater during the year to make all the arrangements and get the dates and the production and all of that all lined up. And then we will be registering your children in March and April for the summer arts camp. So you want to be sure and put it down on your calendar that you want to be involved in this, because it really is a great program. And Lex
very
is just a
worth
good
it.
example of what you can produce in the whole process.
Thank you.
Check our website, watauga-arts.org. You'll learn more about Summer Arts Camp and many other things that we do. We are such a busy organization. There's so much to learn. And if you don't want to keep up that way, you can go through Facebook, because you can like us on Facebook. There's a lot going on Facebook. And then also we have an e-blast program. And then just come over. Blue Ridge Art Space is a neat place, and you want to be there. Check us out, watauga-arts.org, for this and so much more.
Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.